Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
Hey guys, this is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up, it's your girl, Sasha Banks, Legit Boston, and you are watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, a little notify bell next to make sure you always get your new Going In Raw notifications. We're also available on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. We have a variety of reward tiers over there.
We do.
And today is Dollar Hot Dog Day. No, it's Dollar Bonus Episode Day.
Oh, man, you got me excited for a moment. I didn't bring any lunch today, so.
Yeah, I apologize for that. I know hot dogs are... I love hot dogs, man.
I like hot dogs.
I love
too.
Dollar patrons, too. And today, we have a bonus episode that Dollar patrons can watch. We did get a couple new patrons from over the weekend, the SummerSlam weekend. We'll go ahead and give them some love right now. Let's see here. Starting on Saturday, Paul Sachs, Hyper Lee, Alexander Rose, Chris Kubako, Internet Jargon, Ricky Lawrence, and Maximus Bro.
Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you, everybody. SummerSlam is in the books. Our SummerSlam review is available right now on the channel. You can check it out.
Yes, please.
Wherever you find podcasts as well.
Also, our TakeOver Toronto review is up now as well. We did it Saturday night. However, a little bit of information that was released after the conclusion of our recap was a little .com video showing what could be interpreted as Johnny Gargano's goodbye to NXT. So he's in the ring. Candice comes out. He's waving. Thank you, Johnny chants. The only reason I saw it because I saw it on my Twitter timeline from WWE NXT with a hand clap emoji. Thank you, Johnny. Mm-hmm. So even they were kind of presenting it as Johnny's goodbye to NXT. He goes up the top of the ramp, for those who haven't seen it, with Candice. Regal comes out, shakes his hand, embrace. Regal raises his hand. I think he does this. He leaves. Gargano's on the ramp. He's having the crowd chant NXT at him. Mm-hmm. I mean, it seemed like, all right, you're on your way. You're on your way up, Johnny.
I never believed it for a second, man. Here's the thing, dude. They can't. They literally, if things remain the same, which I kind of doubt they will, but if things remain the same, these call-ups happen at Vince's whim. There's no time to plan out a big to-do like this. I just think that they got, well, apparently that's actually true because Cage Side Seats has this. Johnny Gargano's curtain call moment at TakeOver Toronto was just something William Regal wanted to do to honor him. According to Triple H, who said it wasn't meant as a signal that he's definitely leaving NXT. The game didn't rule out a call-up either, though. He can't rule out a call-up. Do you know why?
Because Vince could decide tomorrow morning or to this morning that he wants Gargano on. Well, here's the thing,
It's 9:45 in the morning Pacific time. They go live at 5 p.m. They have until like 4:59 to figure out if Vince is going to call somebody up.
Johnny's in Toronto still. If not, he lives in Cleveland, I think. That's a short, probably like 2-hour flight back to Toronto.
If Vince wanted him called up, he would have been called up by now because he had his opportunity with Ciampa back when they were called up with the Big Four. Yeah. And it didn't happen. He probably saw him, looked at how tall he was, and was like, oh.
It's still, I understand all that. It's still, historically speaking, when that moment happens in an NXT ring, that person's up to the main roster. It's just kind of interesting that they would throw that out there. If that were not the case, because that sets expectations. If you set aside the realities of Johnny's situation in NXT and what the realities may be for him on the main roster, which is nebulous at best, just historically speaking, basically every time we've seen that person within a matter of maybe a month gone from NXT.
So when I totally get what you're saying. When it's several members, this is where I draw the line. When there's several members of the roster, and granted, Gargano obviously has been there forever, and he could totally get called up at any time because he's done everything there is to do in NXT. When you have the moment when it's Dream and Aleister Black and Ricochet in there, and they're all like hugging and stuff, and they're kind of doing the Madison Square Garden curtain call. This incident, just in a vacuum, just this one. I mean, he's in there selling his injuries. The crowd starts chanting, "Thank you, Johnny." Just getting up in the moment, and they send Candace out there. She's his wife. Of course, he's going to go check on him. And then Regal steps out there. Now, the Regal thing, yes, might have symbolized a little bit of that, but I don't know. It also just sort of like, man, look at what this dude. Hey, Johnny, I just deemed this stipulation to be one of the most dangerous matches we've seen in NXT. That's on me. So even that kind of, I don't know. None of, to me, it didn't really feel too much like, goodbye, you're out of here. But that's just me. I know a lot of people took it that way. I totally get it. But I don't know. These days, just understanding how these call-ups work, man, I don't take anything. I don't take any of that stuff. Like, look at the Street Profits. Right now they're doing double duty. They're playing the two old men from the Muppets on Raw. Meanwhile, on NXT, they still have the tag championships. I don't know. I don't put any faith in what happens on NXT in terms of call-ups.
Here's potential, at least for Raw, that if Heyman is, for the most part, calling the shots on Raw,
things could change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if he thinks, oh, I got a storyline in place for Gargano where he's the one. Oh, never mind. Brock lost the belt. Where he can have a program with Seth for that Universal title. Just pulling stuff out of my
sure, of course.
posterior here. I got a story for him. Impactful debut. Let's get, let's get his curtain call here in NXT out of the way, and then onward and upward to Raw. Mm-hmm. Just hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
I understand the point about Vince. Everything's based on his whims. But if Heyman, at least for Raw, has the degree of sway we're led to believe, at least when it pertains to Raw, that could change.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like if Vince goes to Heyman and says, "Oh, we're calling up Gargano," then at least partially still up to Vince's whims because he's still making the call one way or the other if that happens. But he's not at the fore creatively in terms of introducing, in this case, Gargano. So hopefully, ideally, we won't be getting a slideshow or a video package.
That's honestly,
we'll actually get an impactful debut.
That's my biggest thing, man. I want to go back to when Kevin Owens was coming out and it was a big surprise. Open challenge or whatever. I want like storyline motivated stuff, man. I was so like, honestly, Aleister Black and Ricochet and Gargano and Ciampa are four of the all-time NXT guys, like all time. I know Ricochet really wasn't there that long compared to the others maybe, but like they were all-timers. And for them to be introduced with the slideshow presentation was freaking treasonous, man. That's horrible. That was terrible.
It's pretty lousy.
And Triple H even looked like his soul died a little bit when he had to come out there and do that.
Yeah, I know.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
Again, I mentioned this either on the show yesterday or on the live stream, I forget what, but looking at that the Jericho video about how he debuted is like, man, every call-up should at least have that level of thought placed into it. Like, man, we're bringing him over from like a whole different territory, a whole different company.
That should be the mindset. Sadly, it's not for the most part.
Yeah.
Sadly, it is not.
Karen mentioned that Ricochet was there long enough to be considered a mainstay. Yeah, it felt like it wasn't that long, but then time goes by pretty quick. So, So yeah. Anyways, it seems like he's until Vince decides otherwise. I honestly think if NXT is seriously going to it's going to expand to 2 hours. It's
on
going
Fox Sports, it's going to need people like Gargano to stick around.
I think he's just he's the perfect fit. He's so perfect in NXT. That dude is a walking 5-star match. Like he needs to be in the place where that stuff is emphasized. And I'm not talking about 205.
205 isn't emphasized at all.
And 205 honestly should be rolled up into a 2-hour NXT also. So,
That'd be the way to do it.
And on top of that, like to have Gargano be a foundational piece, if 205 does show up in NXT on Fox Sports 1.
All sorts of interesting new matchups then.
Man, that'd be absolutely killer.
One thing, I don't know if we ever discussed this in any of the Fox Sports 1 talk for NXT. This is somewhat off subject, but regardless, we'll talk about it now. If you take NXT off the network, I know that's routinely in terms of the ratings, top 5.
Yeah, sure.
Is that going to lessen the value proposition for subscribers then? Now, I understand there's an absolute wealth of wrestling on the network, even if you take off NXT. But in terms of current day product, NXT is the absolute draw, week in and week out. Pay-per-views notwithstanding.
I think the monthly. I think it's a good question to ask. Personally, like I kind of feel like the draw is the monthly main roster pay-per-views. I think if WWE simply came out and said, "Hey, bargain deal, you guys give us $10 a month and we'll give you all the pay-per-views for that price every month," that's enough.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Everything else, but I don't necessarily think NXT is the draw of the network. I am NXT's like biggest fan. Well, maybe not biggest fan, But I'm a huge fan of NXT.
I don't see you in Full Sail every month, Steve.
I'm no Kyle.
No.
I'm no Kyle.
You're definitely no Kyle, who somehow gets the same seat every set of tapings.
And so
you're not even that older lady who's there more often than not.
I'm no Karen, and I'm not talking about Karen. I know who you're talking about. I forget her name. Karen knows her name. But I am a huge fan of NXT, and if NXT disappeared from the network, even if I didn't do this for a living, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Like I do. I love the Vault, and I love the pay-per-views.
I just wonder, I don't know what percentage of
Miss Anita. That's who he was referring to.
Yes, Miss Anita. Yes. I wonder, and it could be a very small percentage, and if that's the case, then it's not really a huge deal for them. A percentage of people who are maybe burnt out creatively with the main roster product, but still really likes NXT, and 75% of the reason they have a network subscription is because they really like NXT and want to follow that product.
Yeah. Oh, look, I think there's plenty of people out there who the main draw is NXT. I just don't think it's like overwhelming. It's going to do, like a lot of people speculate, it's going to do a lot of damage. And on top of that, what if by October, this is a big thing. What if by October, because here's the thing, if people like NXT, generally speaking, they're going to like a more niche product, a more wrestling-based product. If by October we have Evolve, Progress, and ICW, and that might be a big if we have those three things on the network, on a weekly and monthly basis,
that could make up for.
Then that should, I would think, if they try to make Evolve the next NXT.
Well, it's NXT's NXT.
NXT's NXT, then I don't know, man. I think you're opening up the crowd that is in it for, hey, who's on the horizon? I want to see the best wrestling. I want to see maybe a bit of an edgier product. I think that they're going to stick around for that. So
Could be.
I think that would be a wise move for the WWE to hop on that, start using that programming to keep those people around. I think that'd be
entirely possible.
Wonderful.
Entirely possible.
Anyways, speaking of
something that's entirely possible, SmackDown's going to Fox. That's not just entirely possible. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And they're declaring SmackDown's debut on Fox, of course, happening October 4th. It's SmackDown's 20th anniversary celebration. I don't know if that's how close it is to the actual date.
It was August. It was, I want to say it was around now in August. I think
1999.
Ross, I want to say from Cultaholic had
they're a couple months off of the actual celebration anyways.
You don't celebrate your wedding anniversary a couple months off from when it actually happened?
Not often, no.
I know I don't.
I can't think of any birthday, anniversary, anything to that effect that I tend to celebrate 2 months after the fact. So, anyways, of course, they're
not Ross. Never mind.
They're pulling out all the stops for SmackDown 20th anniversary first episode on Fox TV. This is what they say in their press release. Quote, W superstars past, of course, and present will be on hand at the Staples Center to celebrate the occasion, including WWE Hall of Famers Kurt Angle, Lita,
late August, okay,
Mick Foley, Booker T, Hulk Hogan,
brother,
Trish Stratus, Goldberg, Jerry the King Lawler, Mark Henry, Ric Flair, and Sting.
Oh, cool. Sting's going to be there.
This is what Vince had to say about the whole thing. Quote, SmackDown has been delivering action-packed, family-friendly programming for 2 decades. We take away the 5 years of the Raw Recap Show. And we look forward to entertaining generations to come as we begin this next chapter on Fox. Who says this? Eric Shanks, who is the chief executive officer and executive producer of Fox Sports. Quote, since we announced our 5-year agreement last June, we have been eagerly counting down the days to the launch of SmackDown Live on Fox Sports. This press release ends. Sorry, it doesn't end. It's a paragraph here. Beginning with the 20th anniversary celebration on Friday, October 4th, SmackDown will air on Fox 52 weeks a year and captivate fans with a unique combination of edgy seat action, unpredictable drama, and world-class athleticism. I can't remember who brought up a potential issue with every Friday night between all the other sports Fox airs, World Series, football. I'm sure there might be some bowl games on a Friday night.
You should preempt it to like Saturday mornings. That'd be cool watching it Saturday mornings.
Like Saturday morning cartoons. There's a bowl of cereal. Be like Big E with his popcorn.
I like how giant your imaginary bowl of cereal.
I used to have a bowl of cereal bowl that was that large.
That's awesome.
That I would dump half a bowl of cereal into and just eat for breakfast.
You're
on a
such an
routine.
extreme person, you know that?
I like my cereal, man.
What do you tell you? I used to eat an entire box of Eggos in one sitting.
Yeah, man. Did.
Oh man. So yeah, it says here on
And
the
then we
air
get
since
some back,
1999.
backstory about
Since late August. Oh, I always love when they reference other TV shows. SmackDown Live has aired more original episodes in some of the most popular television series of all time, including The Simpsons, Gunsmoke, Lassie, and Monday Night Football. Was Lassie classically like a really long-running show?
I think so.
How many dogs they go through?
I don't know, but I guess there was a lot of people that fell down wells for Lassie to rescue.
I know. How many? It was like Murder, She Wrote. What the heck?
Yeah.
A lot of people died in that small town. A lot of people went down Lassie's town's wells.
Yeah.
Lassie TV show.
Yeah, how many episodes did that run for?
Let's find out right now. Let's see here. Oh my God!
Huh.
That had to have gone through many dogs. It ran from September of 1954 to guess what year?
76.
No, you overshot. 73.
Oh, not that
still,
much.
that's a very long time.
Almost 20 years. That's
Yeah.
19 years. How many episodes?
Let's see here. They had. Oh wow. Okay. Let's see here. 591.
Oh.
How many dogs did it have? Let's see here.
Probably like 10.
Characters and cast. I don't care about the human leads.
Lassie
I
was
want the canine leads.
Collie, right?
Mm,
Oh, there's Lassie. There's a dog right there.
I know, but it doesn't really say.
Well, look here.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna. I'll check. I'll check. You just keep on talking.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's SmackDown, Fox, 20th anniversary. They're making a huge deal about it, as one would expect. I guess they're expecting at the least Raw reunion type ratings, which is what, 3.1 million viewers. Issue though is, sure, you can have this massive celebration, bring out some legends, but unless the show is really good and there's enough in that show for people to want to stick around, people will show up to see all the old timers and legends. And if they're not captivated by what they see from the current roster, they ain't gonna watch the next week.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on the legends to bring in viewers and keep them around. You got to give people something interesting with the current roster.
Well, here's the thing, man. It says right here they're going to bring you a unique combination of edge of your seat action, unpredictable drama, and world-class athleticism. So apparently they're going to bring something they don't really have. The 2 or 3 things, anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I really hope, and I doubt that they do right now, but I really hope that they get their act together in terms of figuring out how they're going to make them separate, but also good.
Yeah, maybe they'll start accepting some of Eric Bischoff's ideas.
That's funny. Good one.
Expect the motorcycle gang to show up on SmackDown any week now.
He's at well, they've been pushing that Mayans MC thing on.
Oh,
the
there
show.
you go. They're tie-in.
Yeah, it's a good tie-in right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's on FX.
The OCMC.
Did you know the earliest depiction of Lassie was in a short story in 1859?
Wow.
That character had frickin' legs, man.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
That was 120 years of Lassie stories.
Yeah. According to writer Nigel Clark, the original Lassie, who inspired so many films and television episodes, was a rough-haired crossbreed who saved the life of a sailor during World War I. Maybe there was many different dogs that they combined into one. So the G1 wrapped up last night, Larson.
Yeah,
We're
man.
about to get into
Spoiler
territory.
Yeah, so if you don't want to get spoiled, if you want to watch G1 finale for yourself, go watch your SummerSlam recap.
Watch SummerSlam recap.
Takeover, something else.
Watch Adam Cole roasting Pat McAfee.
Watch Matt Riddle talk trash to Goldberg on Watch Along.
Goldberg,
All,
exactly.
Any of that.
All that stuff is great.
It is all great.
Pat McAfee on a pole match, except the match never ends and you're just up there forever.
Smiling to himself. That was great. Let's talk. I know it's not in this order in the notes here. Let's talk winner first. The finals saw Kota Ibushi, best Switchblade Jay White, to claim his first G1 tournament victory.
What do they call Jay White? Knife pervert, something like that?
Yeah, knife pervert. That's right. I believe Kota Ibushi is the first man to ever win Best of Super Juniors, New Japan Cup, and the G1. WrestleZone. I thought that this morning, and WrestleZone said the same thing.
Okay.
So I'm guessing, hopefully that's right.
Yeah.
Hell of an achievement by Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, man.
He gets the main event Wrestle Kingdom. I guess in the post match press conference, he said he wants Okada since he already beat him in the G1. So one would presume that would be our main event for the Wrestle Kingdom, at least one of the days, because it's a 2-night affair now. So maybe we'll get Okada Ibushi for the heavyweight title. Naito versus Knife Pervert for the Intercontinental title, perhaps.
Wait, what do they call him?
Well, I mean, his nickname's Switchblade, but on Twitter all the time people refer to him as Knife Pervert.
Oh, I thought it was something else that wasn't as cheesy as Knife Pervert, which is pretty funny.
No, that's kind of like just like...
that's the phrase you told me the other day. They were like, yeah, they call him this.
Yeah, but that's just on Twitter. People call him Knife Pervert. New Japan doesn't call him Knife Pervert.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
But several people on Twitter refer to him as a Knife
I've seen
Pervert.
the phrase a lot.
I really want that on a shirt.
Ask Karen.
Now.
Karen,
do people call him Knife Pervert? Oh man.
Okay, Karen says that was due to Chucky and Trent called him that when he was in Chaos. There you go. Oh, he has merch with it. Okay, well then
He does. Okay, there you go.
That's pretty damn official then.
All right.
Trent and Chuck, of course, they started.
That sounds perfect right there. That sounds great.
Amazing. Anyways, Knife Pervert versus Naito maybe, and then Okada versus Ibushi. But considering Ibushi already beat Okada in the G1, I have a hard time believing he's going to win the title at Wrestle Kingdom.
I know you're right about. That's exactly what I'm thinking too. Because also there's the thing that the champion rarely loses at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
I don't know much about New Japan, but I do know that.
Yeah, like last year when it happened, when Tanahashi beat Omega, was the first time in like 8 years. And
that seemingly was simply out of like desperate necessity because Kenny was leaving.
Yeah.
So yeah, that should be. Look, I haven't seen. I'm going to endeavor this week to watch as much of the G1. I'm going to sort of read the temperature in terms of what people thought were the best matches. I definitely want to see Ibushi Okada.
Hell yeah.
A ton of those matches I want to watch. But it's going to be just a killer match at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
And I kind of expect, like, my early prediction would be, just given history, Okada's going to win there.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah.
And a hell of a bout, I'm sure.
But man, yeah, that's going to be just a killer match.
Speaking of another potential awesome match that could take place, we had a pretty massive moment last night before the main event. So there's a tag match. Bullet Club members Tama Tonga. Bad Boy Tama Tonga. Tonga Loa.
Bad Luck Fale.
The Underboss, Bad Luck Fale. Try to remember all their nicknames.
Knife Prevert.
Taking on Kenta, Tomohiro Ishii, and Steve's favorite New Japan wrestler, Yoshihashi. Towards the end of that match, Kenta dropped off the apron, walked away from his team, but then came back around, hit Ishii with a knee, a go to sleep, which allowed Tama Tonga to get the pin on Ishii. And so Kenta is now Bullet Club.
Kenta.
And so after that betrayal, who comes in the ring?
Shibata.
Hell yes.
To a thunderous applause.
Shibata runs in the ring and starts dropping haymakers.
I like there was no attempt to be like, hey, dude, what are you doing? He just came
out.
out.
He came out and just started throwing hands.
Annihilated him.
He was throwing hands, got him, kicked him in the corner, started throwing stiff forearms, took off his shirt, looked great, jacked.
Yeah.
Hit him with the drop kick, started throwing elbows at Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Bad Luck Fale. In the end, though, numbers too much. Bullet Club took him down, and then Kenta sat atop Shibata's chest.
Yeah.
And threw up a too sweet.
Love it.
Yep.
That's great.
He is now Bullet Club.
They desperately need this.
Is for real.
They desperately need this. Is Jay White even a member of Bullet Club still?
Yeah, he is.
He is? Okay.
Yeah.
Does he wear any logos?
I don't know. Tama Tonga is like the leader because he said on Twitter, hey, I just recruited someone else for Bullet Club.
I don't know. He's totally the leader.
Yeah, he's totally the leader.
He never should have tweeted out that Jay White is a leader. They really need to stay off Twitter.
You should check to see if he deleted that tweet. If he deleted that tweet, then it never happened.
I don't think that's how Twitter works, man.
No, I mean in terms of kayfabe, if he's deleted the tweet. It's like, you have no evidence of that.
Fair enough. According to WrestleZone, though, Dave Meltzer, the Wrestling Observer himself, had some backstage info about Shibata's in-ring return, saying, quote, Shibata going on the offensive against Kenta was something unbeknownst to the talent backstage. Nobody besides select management was aware that Shibata, who has had brain surgery due to bleeding in the brain, would be pulling off wrestling moves in what was the shocking angle of the evening. I know, I was sitting there watching all this, like when I woke up, I looked and I was like, who even is that? I was trying to figure out who it was because I didn't like full screen the whole video thing. I was like, I can't tell. It never entered my brain that could possibly be Shibata.
Oh, I just saw his shirt and I was like, oh, damn, that's Shibata.
I know, and because I also had like sleepy eyes. And then I looked up, I was like, why is Shibata doing all this? Is this like an old clip? No, that's Kenta. That doesn't make any sense. I was like, oh my God, he's doing stuff. But WrestleZone adds that there is no word as if this means Shibata will be returning to the squared circle of competition. That would be like beyond shocking given the nature of his retirement anyways.
Yeah. I mean,
as Karen has mentioned, I was talking to Karen a little bit about this before, as she points out, one move, one wrong move can paralyze or kill the guy.
Yeah.
So that would be absolutely
it'd be pretty
if
shocking
that happened.
if he were to get back in the ring for a match.
I would really hesitate to think, that he would actually be coming back. It's kind of akin to just a more extreme version of Edge dropping a spear on Elias.
Yeah.
That don't mean Edge is coming back.
No, and I didn't see what the bumps. I saw him beat up Kenta. I didn't see the bump that he took.
I didn't see that one either.
Apparently, Kent dropped him with a PK.
Well, that's the thing. Karen, I hope she doesn't mind me talking about this conversation of ours, says that a couple of kicks and a corner drop kick paired with a very, very, very protected check PK or check kick from Kenta doesn't equal an imminent return.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think the more likely situation would be Kenta versus Ishii in Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
Doesn't Ishii? He's still the never open weight champion, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that seems a more likely thing. And Shibata can maybe walk out with Ishii.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
in that scenario.
Yeah,
that seems more likely to me. But yeah, it was thrilling, and as Wikipedia says, kind of terrifying all at the same time. Because you don't want any sort of wayward strike to hit him in the dome and have him seriously messed up.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So. But anyways, it's pretty awesome to see. It was a hell of a way to wake up this morning to see that clip. Courtesy Matthew Audet, he shared that with us.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Matthew. Breaking news to Going In Raw. That's how awesome our community is. They allow it, seriously, they let us do far less work. Yesterday,
amazing.
Especially over the weekend during the live stream, you and I, a couple of beers in us, we'll start popping off about any subject, and then our mods have to clean it up in chat.
Yeah, I know.
They're sitting there like, oh, God, they just mentioned Trump. Here we go. Ban.
I know.
They really are the best.
They are the absolute best.
Are you ready for Raw preview?
One of these entries is super long.
This should be a hot Raw, man.
I hope
Heyman
so.
is firmly in control. We have a new Universal Champion.
True.
So I'll kick it off. Rollins, once again, slays the Beast. Seth Rollins' ribs might have been injured at SummerSlam, but his fighting spirit was stronger than ever. After hitting Brock Lesnar with 3 massive stomps, the Beast Slayer lived up to his moniker to become a 2-time Universal Champion, conquering the nigh unbeatable Lesnar and bringing the coveted title home to Monday Night Raw. The Architects Universal Championship celebration continues tonight on Raw, coming to you live from Toronto's Scotiabank Arena.
The Miz and Dolph Ziggler to face off tonight, one night after suffering Goldberg's ring-shaking spear and jackhammer combination at SummerSlam, along with 2 post-match spears for good measure. The show-off will battle the superstar he originally thought he'd be facing at the biggest event of the summer. As hinted on last week's Raw, Ziggler will indeed square up with The Miz on Monday's show, a development Miz revealed at the last possible second during what had been advertised as the pair's contract signing for SummerSlam. The A-lister rope-a-dope Ziggler into signing a contract against Goldberg instead, but it appears the former WWE champion will get an ample chance to put his rival in his place. Of course, it might just be as much of a moment of vindication for Ziggler, who is surely reeling following his swift and painful SummerSlam pummeling from the imposing WWE Hall of Famer.
Next, what's on tap for the man? Withstanding the Heart Dungeon honed. Gee whiz. Withstanding the Heart Dungeon honed arsenal of Natalya, Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch made Canada's own Queen of Hearts tap out to disarm her to win a hard-fought submission match last night at SummerSlam in Toronto, following the man's triumph at the biggest event of the summer. Who will be next to challenge Lynch for the coveted Raw Women's title? Will it be Knife Prevert? Different company.
One could hope. This is a really long entry.
This is hugely long.
Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross to defend the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against the Kabuki Warriors on Raw. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross will defend their WWE Women's Tag Team Championships on Raw after SummerSlam against a team that came very close to winning them instead, Asuka and Kairi Sane. The Kabuki Warriors will challenge the new champs just 1 week after the Fatal 4-Way elimination match that saw Bliss and Cross snap the 4-month reign of the Iconics. The Kabuki Warriors were the runner-ups in that match, and they might have been the winners if not for some well-timed chicanery on behalf of Cross, who
Where's Dave Schilling?
who trapped Asuka in the ring apron, distracted Kairi Sane before she could deliver her signature insane elbow drop to Bliss. The interference catapulted the unlikely duo of Bliss and Cross to championship status. This is Bliss's third distinct title in WWE and Cross's first, but clearly they'll have their work cut out for them. It's a whole other paragraph.
Continuing on.
The Kabuki Warriors pursued the titles relentlessly while the Iconics were champions.
They were never on TV.
And coming as close as they did to victory seems to have intensified the chase. Bliss and Cross have an opportunity to etch their names in the history books with the young titles. However, should they choose to rest on their laurels after surviving the Iconics in the rematch during the SummerSlam kickoff, their entry will be a short one.
I really hope that this ends up just furthering their feud. Maybe we can get... I really want the Kabuki Warriors to have these freaking titles. I don't want this to be just like a one-off thing. They really need to be a dominant tag team. They need to be like the War Raiders of their division.
Agreed.
That's how it should be.
That has to be what it is.
And Nikki and Alexa need to be like sneaking their way. If they're going to like keep these titles, they need to be sneaking their way out. This can't be like a clean thing. I'm hoping this ends in like a wonk, maybe with the Iconics or something. I don't know, man. Anyways, can the OC remain too sweet after SummerSlam? After AJ Styles defeated a Ricochet to retain his star-spangled title last night at SummerSlam, the OC remain in possession of the United States Championship and the Raw Tag Team Championship based on the group's sadistic post-match attack on the aerialist. They've lost none of their edge in the wake of their success. With the championship around each member's waist, the OC are the most dominant group on the red brand. Will anyone dare oppose them tonight? Dun, 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 dun. Don't miss any of the action tonight on Raw 8/7 Central on the USA Network. Oh, man. Hell in a Cell comes up. We're going to get a Pat McAfee on a pole match. That never ends.
We got a new member. Did you get this already, Sir Andy Kluber?
No, I didn't. Welcome.
Austin Luff can confirm those Undisputed Era shirts are softer than the usual WWE quality.
Yeah, I think he tweeted at us last night, and he said that the screen print isn't too obnoxious, and the shirt is very soft. So
that's good. Maybe WWE's up in their game.
Changing their ways, man.
I hope so. We got a trio of questions from Dylan Haggett. Who do you guys think will debut in 2K20 this year?
It's too early, I would think, for The Fiend. Or it's too late, rather, for The Fiend.
Yeah, War Raiders will probably be in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to be in it. Yeah.
Keith Lee.
You think Keith Lee's going to be in it?
That'd be cool if he were.
He's got it. It's been a year. He has
Punishment Martinez.
He might be in the line. He might be in the
Future Stars pack.
There's only one name that I really care about. Dexter Lumis.
Yeah.
Probably and I hope they give him an entrance with like a car and like somebody's in the trunk.
Quiet back there. Don't mind that noise. Dylan, again, have you guys checked out the WWE Uncaged albums?
I can't say I have.
I have one of the WWE CDs, the one from the Attitude Era that has all the Attitude Era themes. I have that one.
Somewhere in the office. Alex C mentions, what about Walter and Riddle? Matt Riddle, for sure.
Yeah. Walter probably. I don't know. Apparently.
Yeah, I think you missed it. He was in the crowd at TakeOver.
Walter was?
Yeah, you were out of the room. I think you were.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, and I started to do a Walter impression. Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Interesting. And then Dylan says every WWE shirt I've gotten recently has been really good and soft.
That's cool.
Oh, we got another member. JD Meg 6118. Thank you.
Welcome.
And then Sean Lathrop, I want a Knife Pervert Jay White shirt now.
Apparently they have them. Somebody posted in
I'll look.
Jimmy Thomas posted in Discord. Unless he literally just made that, but I don't think he did. I think it's a real thing. Yeah, check his Pro Wrestling Tee Shop. Anyways, let's answer some questions here.
Yes.
Let's see here. Cody Miles. Shibata's run-in had a pop so huge for a Japanese audience. Is there a pop you wish you could have experienced live? I wish I could have been there for Jericho's debut.
Mm-hmm.
That moment when his name is just everything right there.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
Yeah. Break the walls down.
Right. Break the wall.
Maybe when Daniel Bryan won the belt at WrestleMania 30. That was probably pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd have been huge too. That'd have been great. Let's see.
There it is. Knife Pervert.
Oh, perfect. I get one of those. Dominist One, do you think that NXT call-ups as we know them might become a thing of the past if these 2-hour Fox Sports 1 rumors are true? So, I mean, if it moves to Fox Sports 1, it's 2 hours, it's live. It would call-ups then become more akin to, especially if main roster talent's coming over to NXT, they'd be a true third brand at that point.
Yeah. I would hope that's the goal.
It'd be
the whole
more
idea.
along the lines. If they have distinct rosters on main, it would just be a distinct NXT roster. And maybe they would be funneling people through there a bit more. That would make it different, I guess. But yeah, it would. I mean, it would make the main roster call-up a bit less special, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it'd be less of a call-up and more just a shift.
Yeah, it'd be more of a lateral or diagonal shift rather than a call directly up.
Once you reach a certain level and you move over to like SmackDown, it's going to be less of a big deal. But here's the thing. For me, it's not necessarily the idea that somebody's like graduating to the main roster.
No.
It's how does it impact the story? If it truly makes an impact and is a big surprise, oh my God, they were in NXT yesterday and now they're on, whatever. That's sort of the bigger deal to me, Let's see here.
Next, we got Bryson Tyler. Where's Dan Matha? He's got a new name now. He's tagging with Riddick Moss.
Yeah, I know somebody will know his name. It's something weird. Yeah, and I read something that Riddick Moss is. Was that on Fightful? Did Fightful have that? Riddick Moss's like work ethic?
It was Fightful or it was WrestleVote.
Yeah, maybe it was WrestleVote.
That said that he's been impressing people at the PC.
Yeah. That he's got like a super professional work ethic and he's always there, et cetera, et cetera. So that's cool. Jimmy Thomas said, I saw this on Twitter, but should Bray's lantern be Finn's head when he faces his next opponent? I'd be all for that, but that Bray lantern is something cool.
It is pretty
Probably
cool.
Took a long time to actually make that.
I like the idea of him kind of incorporating moves from his fallen opponents.
Me too. So let me ask you this then. Here's a question from Steve here.
Sling
Larson.
Blade. That's what he should take from Finn. He started doing the Sling Blade. But he should kind of do it more like his crossbody. Or instead of just kind of wrapping himself around, he's like doing a flying, diving clothesline.
Yeah. But it's somebody's head. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. No, I'm down with that. I don't want to see him do a coup de grace. He probably messed himself up.
He messed himself up.
And his opponent. Let's see.
Otherwise, Finn just does a lot of drop kicks.
Cody says, personally, I couldn't care less about the backlog. If I can't get NXT or 205, I'm out of the network. Where are you going to watch your pay-per-views then?
There you go. May doesn't like pay-per-views. Anthony Valentine, what's next for The Fiend after his win over Vacation Balor? Yeah, that's our non-news story right there.
Oh, cool. New AEW signee. We'll do the vacant guy with the question mark.
Exactly.
All right. What's that? What's the question?
What's next for The Fiend now that Finn's going on vacation?
So it's a bit of a step down in the pecking order, but maybe Apollo Crews.
I kind of feel like they need to keep this momentum up with The Fiend, and it's going to be relatively high-profile opponents.
Give us a name.
Hell, Roman Reigns. Let's go right after Roman.
That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. Probably not going to happen.
Another one from
Ray. Ray's a big name.
Yeah,
Ray's a big name.
Ray is seemingly in the company, or at least the company views Ray in the company as someone to get younger talent over. Anthony Valentine, is Seth's second Universal title reign going to be better or worse than the first? If worse, then how could he make it better? Well, hopefully it's better because I'm guessing his first feud won't be against Baron Corbin.
Yeah. Blake Elizondo, with NXT possibly hitting cable TV, should they replace it on the network with NXT Breakout to highlight their developing talents on the level of those seen in the Breakout tournament, like NXT was before? I am all in favor of that idea, and I thought I had heard, like Meltzer or something had said.
Suggested that idea at one point that if they're going to put NXT on cable, then make NXT like a purely developmental thing and do like the developmental talents that do the Florida loop.
What a great name. Blake has a great idea here. NXT Breakout.
Yeah, it's good.
And I think it's a terrific idea because for one thing, you keep that at Full Sail. You keep the super developmental stuff at Full Sail because they're a very inviting crowd, and they like to see that stuff.
Yeah,
and then you do the big NXT stuff on cable.
On the cable.
Wow, what a great idea! And then you keep Cody Miles because Cody said without NXT he's leaving.
Oh yeah,
so you get to keep him.
Yeah, there you go. Brandon Lusala, could Brock come to SmackDown now? Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Entirely possible.
Can you imagine the heat on that guy if he takes that title off Kofi? Hot heat.
Yes.
Hot heat.
Max Zero, should the Fiend be used sparingly like the Demon? And if so, should regular Bray use a different theme? P.S. The new remix sounds full of slasher horror compared to the more psychological thriller creepy original. I love it.
It's also confirmed that Code Orange did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw that.
Yeah.
Twitter too, yes. I just think I enjoy the delineation between in-ring, that's all Fiend, and in promos, it's all on the Tron, and it's all Firefly Funhouse
But
Bray.
both characters, the Firefly Funhouse Bray and the Fiend, have like an obvious like conflict going on in their heads, you know? And I like that. So I don't want to see Firefly Funhouse Bray in the ring unless Bray Wyatt, who allegedly has been at the head of all this creative behind the Fiend, unless he has a story in mind long term for how this can play out and how that can happen, I'm totally willing to see how it goes.
I kind of feel like Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt only exists in Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's the only realm or platform which he
Maybe
exists.
that's the conflict. The two universes are being like ripped apart.
Could be.
There's so much cool stuff happening there potentially.
I know. Alex C., is it wrong for New Japan to use Shibata for in-ring heat if he actually isn't returning to the ring?
I'm gonna say so. That was like that was sort of the conversation starter for me with Karen, because she's more tuned in, number one, to Japanese wrestling Twitter, which obviously I don't know the language. She does, and she's very tuned into that stuff. That's what I asked her, was because when I woke up this morning and I saw the Shibata stuff, a lot of American wrestling Twitter was saying, "Oh, he's back, he's back." Hold on a second, pump your brakes.
He's not back.
And so my question was, for the Japanese audience, are they sort of savvy enough to understand, well, no, he's not back. They're not going to do that. And if that's the case, it's sort of like asking, is it wrong for Edge to drop a spear knowing that he's not going to come back? And I don't think that it is, because we're savvy enough to understand, no, it's fine. He's not going to come back.
Yeah.
He's still messed up.
Yes.
And this is a fairly protected sequence. So there you go. Let's see here.
Greg Morris, God willing, Kofi doesn't drop the title to Orton. Who does he lose it to? Could he lose it to the Fiend? Demon versus Fiend at Mania for the title. That's all the money.
I would say Brock.
Yeah, it's probably.
I mean, honestly, like if they've actually done a fairly good job because of Brock building up that Universal Championship, and hopefully with Heyman at the helm, they'll keep that momentum regardless of who has it. And then you put Brock over there on SmackDown. And I mean, you want a big mainstream name for that SmackDown on Fox, and you want like a ton of heat.
Yeah.
Put that title on Brock.
Yep.
And then give Kofi a really, really strong feud with him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. You can build Kofi into something even bigger if eventually he takes on Brock and he beats Brock for the title.
Yeah,
like you want to use that same sort of Brock rub and do it with Kofi.
Yeah,
man, I think
else.
that could be huge.
Jack Nesmith, M.A. If Johnny Gargano is called up to the main roster, who do you think his first feud should be with, and what brand should he be on? He's rooting for SmackDown.
You know, the one way I could have been totally on board with Gargano going to 205 is if Daniel Bryan went there first.
Yeah, I know.
Could you imagine if Daniel Bryan goes to 205 and it's like, whoa, all bets are off now, and then Gargano shows up? Woo!
That'd be something else.
Wow.
To answer Jack's question, I'm going to say Andrade.
Ooh.
Andrade versus Gargano. We've seen it, and it's excellent.
How about this? You have Ray and Andrade do their hair versus mascaras match, and then at the tail end of that, Gargano comes out and challenges Rey Mysterio, says, hey, now that you're done with him, I want to take on the best as well.
That's good. Dalton, kayfabe reason why people don't bleed anymore.
Kayfabe reason.
Yeah.
They're smaller. Like people
don't hit as hard.
Yeah, they don't hit as hard. I mean, that's why you see those like in the little tiny divisions in UFC. Those guys just swing for the fences on each other's heads.
They can't knock each other out.
They can't knock each other out because they're tiny. You can't kayfabe like height. I mean, it's just obvious they're smaller.
Yeah. Unless it's like forced perspective, you make the ring smaller. Lower the ropes.
Forced perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're going to do on SmackDown on Fox. We have cameras that have like, Ed Duran, when the XFL launches next year, will Vince still have the final say on creative, or will he give up some power? Oh, man, Vince will always have the final say.
Mr. Fabulous, do you think that it would benefit Finn to come back heel and join up with the OC? It'd benefit him to come back and feud with the OC, then eventually join them.
Yeah, in the end, I want him with the OC.
Yeah,
yes, that would benefit him greatly.
He'd have to feud with them first, though. Donnie D, has Bullet Club officially become 1999 NWO? No, they're not. The ranks aren't bloated yet.
Well, they were bloated, and I think wasn't 99 when they pared down quite a bit. Which one? What was the silver and black? That was Jeff Jarrett, Bret Hart.
Towards the end.
That was 2000. That was NWO 2000. I think.
Yeah, towards the end of '98 is when the band got back together fully. It was it was early '99.
Early '99. Yeah, okay.
Finger Poke of Doom,
and that's when they really pared them down.
Kind of.
They like cut everybody from the B team, right?
But it was still. I mean, it was pretty much all a Wolfpack, and then the top tier guys from.
What was the most
Hollywood.
underwhelming? What's the most underwhelming version of NWO that it was in WCW? Because the answer to that question is WWE's NWO.
Yeah. Well, it was when Jeff Jarrett was leading it.
Right. Yeah. So is current Bullet Club at that level?
It's got Knife Pervert and Kenta and Bad Boy Tama Tonga still.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. I didn't. Nikyle says on this. Sorry, I didn't mean to pull a con there. I didn't. On the subject of Gargano, did you see his reaction to Bray Wyatt's entrance during their watch along? Is he going to start wearing a Fiend themed gear now? Gargano, is he a big mark for the Fiend? Let's see here.
Blake Elizondo, if your War Game winner take all theory is true, wouldn't Montez be really upset if he pinned Cole and Johnny gets the NXT title? I mean, that's a stipulation. He would be aware of the stipulation walking into it.
Wait, I'm sorry. What was the question?
So if the War Games winner take all theory is true, for example, in theory, wouldn't Montez be upset if he was the one who pinned Adam Cole, yet Johnny be the one to win the title?
Nah, I don't know. I think it's just, hey, you go in there. Yeah, like you said, you're aware of the stipulation. You want to keep your title. You pin whoever you can pin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then, I mean, you could potentially get a story out of that saying, hey,
exactly.
I pinned you, Adam Cole. And then they do a singles match on TV, and Adam Cole goes over.
Yashazvi Tripathi, sorry. Do you think Shane will take over for Vince, not Triple H?
Yashazvi Tripathi. What a great name. Klondike.
Probably not.
Klondike Shea. After Edge's spear last night, please reiterate to the fans why this isn't his return. A lot of people have been saying he's cleared for in-ring when he's not. No, clearly he is not. He has done a wonderful job moving on as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I know wrestling Twitter just goes crazy sometimes, man.
Yeah.
They just go crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Juan Guerrero Jr. says, why has the picture of us three been moved out of the frame? Mr. Triple Mania needs his shameless self-promotion. Is that true?
Yeah, it's right on the edge. It's on the edge of Sasha over there.
What? No. Oh, because I think the other day sometimes we'll take that camera and we'll do stuff.
Yeah, we'll move the frame a little bit.
Yeah, I'll widen out a little bit for you. I love Juan Guerrero.
Oh, he's great.
Ryan Haft with the hashtag Twitch is over party trending. Any chance Going In Raw moves to Mixer for live streaming gameplay? No, now that apparently pornography is legal on Twitch, we're probably going to stay there even more. We might switch our entire podcast there, given that we can now do whatever we want seemingly on Twitch.
So do you know what the story behind all that is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Twitch, so I kind of know half of it. Ninja left Twitch for Mixer.
Yes.
Twitch started using his channel to promote other channels, which apparently they didn't do at all for anybody and is a super petty move. One of those channels somehow, some way ended up being the pornography thing of some sort.
I didn't know that.
I'm not sure how that got through.
Yeah, that seemed like a terms of service violation.
A massive one. So that was, I think, an oversight mistake. But in the first place, they were promoting popular Twitch channels, and that one ended up being one of them. I'm sure maybe somebody in chat can help fill in how the porn channel ended up there anyways.
Yeah, who knows?
So, yeah, I don't know. But Ninja was pretty upset about it.
I would imagine.
Yeah, he said, because he dropped this little video. He seems like a fairly down-to-earth guy, given his success especially. he said something along the lines of, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to like make it a thing, but ever since I left, there has been a couple things that Twitch has been doing that I noticed have been kind of petty. And then they just basically turned my profile into an advertisement for other channels that I have no say over, and it's my profile. So, yeah.
That's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, it's I don't know. It's a platform that's still going through growing pains.
Oh, yeah.
Like any other platform.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, any platform that you're on these days, because digital media is so new, they're going to go through, like, look, we're not entirely enthused about a lot of YouTube's policies.
Nope.
But I mean, that's where we make a lot of our income.
Yeah.
That's how we do the show.
It's always been a constantly evolving process, and you kind of have to adapt to the changes when you find out what they are.
We are still, even since 2006, I think, or 2005, YouTube's been around. I mean, that's literally only...
It's 14 years.
I mean, when did TV, like, debut? 1950?
Well, I mean, for commercial sale, I think in the 40s.
Yeah. I mean, so, like, we're in the 1950s of TV, which was still very, very new.
They didn't have color TVs.
They had all sorts of porno in 1950s TV. That is totally not true. They couldn't even show men and women in bed together.
You had to be in there with the rabbit ears trying to get to unscramble.
Exactly. So yeah. Anyways. I think, is that it?
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Today on Overrun, we're going to reveal who the new colorful signee of AEW is officially.
And we'll do it with our hands in our pockets.
Contracted, exactly. Very slowly and lackadaisical. So thanks, everybody, for watching. We do appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Be a part of Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Starting at $1 a month, you can enjoy Going In Raw ad-free, gain access to the daily 30-minute Going In Raw post-show, exclusive merchandise, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.